What is going on YouTube? Merry Christmas Eve to everyone. Hope everyone's having a happy holiday. Today's video is gonna be cold right now. Hold on. Today's video is gonna be a little update on the G37. Now, as some of you know, my axles went bad recently. I'm like 90% sure that the axles went bad. Now, if it was my differential or my drive shaft, it would be more of a constant noise that I would be getting. But because the noise would go away at certain RPMs, it's obviously a axle problem. Now, the reason why I know it's my axle is because this car is old. It's a 2009. And axles do go bad. So the one thing that threw me off was that the CV boots weren't bad. They didn't crack or anything, and that's what threw me off. I didn't bother to check, and that was my mistake. So I have a new set of axles coming in today. Thank God for FedEx. They'll be delivered today before the end of the day, but on this side of town they usually deliver it in the morning sometime. So yeah, I'm just waiting on those. But yeah, in the engine, I was having this problem. Now, my AFRs, apparently my AFRs were supposed to be fluctuating around 11.6 to 11.8, which is like, if you guys don't know, it's 11 parts air and then 8 parts fuel. That's how you read the ratio of AFRs, air fuel ratio. Now, this engine is supposed to be fluctuating around 11.6 to 11.8, and recently I just sent my tuner a log, Monsef at Admin Tuning, a log, and he said that it's fluctuating between 11.8 and 12.5, which is leaner than what he tuned my car in the beginning. So what I did was the first thing I did was I checked the fuel filter, the external fuel filter of my fuel return system, which is right here. Oh shoot. Let me see here. There you go. Yeah, I'm running a CJM fuel return system. And there's my fuel pressure regulator, and here's my gauge right here. And so the external filter runs underneath the car, like around this area. Let me see if I can get it for you guys. Oh, actually it's right there, see? There's my external fuel filter, and there's my flex fuel kit right there. I took out the filter, and the filter looked fine. It wasn't dirty. It's only like a month and a half old, and in my head I was like, man, there's no way that it's gonna get dirty. So I took it off and I ran the car and I sent him a log, and it did a little better, but it was still fluctuating around the 12s, which was still lean. Now, I decided to take out the fuel pump, which is right here in the back in the rear seat, and I opened up the basket. So I basically took out my whole pump and I made holes at the bottom so that it can suck in more fuel at all times. Now there's an advantage and disadvantage to that, but I'll get to that later. But anyways, the car did run a lot better, but it was still running a little lean. So I was just puzzled. I was like, man, what the hell's going on with my car? I don't want to drive it anymore. I just want to park it because it still runs, and I don't want to blow this engine again. But when I first installed this engine, as you guys know, this is a 2017 QX50 engine, all-wheel drive. I converted it to a two-wheel drive. I replaced everything on this engine. It's like brand new. It only has like 13,000 miles on it. I did strip one bolt on here, and it's right here, guys. I know you guys remember this bolt right here. You see right there by the belt? Yeah. Anyways, this bolt is one of the bolts to the cam shaft covers in the front, which is this one right here, and there's one right here. I installed the engine, and after a couple hundred miles, I started noticing that there's an oil leak, but it's not enough for it to go all the way down into, like, drop to the floor. So what I did was I inspected all of this over again, and there was oil all over right here in the front where all these pulleys are. So what I did was I removed this cover and I bought a new gasket and I put new RTV around it, which this side doesn't have. It doesn't need RTV because the gasket is already enough to seal it. But what I did was I bought a new gasket and I put RTV. I put this stuff right here. I put this stuff right here, and I put a gang of it. Not a gang of it, but enough so that I was comfortable with this oil leak to go away. And I did drive it around a couple miles, and yeah, it's not leaking anymore. But the reason why I did this is because I noticed that my blower was always oily, and there was always black stuff around, which is the dirt. So what my blower was doing was it was creating a turbulence in this area with that oil, and when I accelerate, the oil would go inside the impeller with the dirt. And so when I took off my charge pipe, all of inside, all of this right here was all dark black. It was just all dirty. Now, the problem here is with my charge pipe, everything inside was dirty, which is normal sometimes, but all the dirt and oil went to my mass airflow sensors, and my mass airflow sensors were all black and dirty. And this is the reason why my car was running lean. It would run rich on idle, but when I would accelerate, it would run lean because it's not giving the right reading from the mass airflow sensors. So remember, guys, you have to make sure that your mass airflow sensors are always clean. This is very important, guys. Otherwise, it'll cost you a shit ton of money in the long run. So yeah, I'll be finishing this off today, and yeah, stay tuned, guys. Thanks for watching.